Yes, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Elvina. I'm an entrepreneur and a licensed general contractor, and I built hostels in 4 cities and a coffee shop. When I built my coffee shop, I realized how much waste comes from a single bean through the grinder into your portafilter and onto that knock box. Ultimately goes to the landfill. It doesn't get sorted. It actually creates methane and CO2. But how much of it? LA County has 800 coffee shops. I was just one of them at 10 pounds a day. But imagine if all of us created 10, which obviously Starbucks is going to create more. That's 8,000 pounds a day of coffee ground waste, just trash. And then that turns into 2.9 million pounds annually, just from the 800 LA County coffee shops alone. That's like 652 cars driving on our LA streets for a year, or raising 1,200 farting cows. That's the equivalent to just our coffee waste. And let's not even talking about that cup that you're drinking from. So it's like 20 minutes of a great brew for 20 years of decomposing. It just didn't really make sense to me. When LA County creates 3 million tons of garbage annually, and on your beaches, half of the trash that you see is plastic, it's so bad that LA County supervisors this past October filed a lawsuit against Pepsi and Coca-Cola saying, way too much plastic, and by the way, not that recyclable. So clearly a problem. But what can we do? What can we do about it? Well, coffee grounds are actually a filler for any plastic item. The cups actually are cellulose, could be put into with that to create wall panels. And our partner here, Oceanworks, they take marine-bound plastic, pelletize them, as you see in your samples here, for mold injection machines. So we can actually reuse the waste and the plastic to create new sustainable products. And what would those products be? Molded goods. Instead of virgin, petroleum-based plastic, reuse the plastic, combined with coffee grounds, and wall clip panels that are more affordable than plywood. When I build my hostels, they're like $85 a sheet for a 4x8. Not to mention, every time I cut it, I'm breathing in formaldehyde, and that's deforestation. Now, our panels would be 85% coffee grounds and 15% cellulose. And it has been done in Germany, so we can do it too. And lastly, a raw pellet, so that as we have that ground up formula I was telling you about, of coffee grounds and RPP, recycled propylene, we can actually create our own pellet that manufacturers can use, the ground up formula. So, and by the way, going to these coffee shops is job creation, right? So these are people that can use EV vehicles to go to coffee shops and save Athens Services from collecting those grounds that they can't catch anyway. They can catch aluminum, they can catch glass, they can't catch this. They told me that it sips right through. So that definitely hits the landfills. So here's our molded plastic. These are the samples that you see. We have a mold injection machine. So what you see is 30% coffee grounds, 70% ocean-safe plastic. And we can create anything equivalent in strength and durability as regular plastic, as you can see right here. That's our mold injection machine, that's our recycled PP, and I've gone up to 50% on coffee grounds with a little bit of sawdust, by the way, which goes back to a construction waste that we can use as a binder. The second is the wall panels. Now, we can do 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, and this is used a hydraulic hot press. So the other mold injection machine, you're putting the mold through and you're injecting it at high pressure. A high press is just like a panini press, but you can make a wall panel out of it for the construction industry. And lastly, let's sell our formula to manufacturers so they can do better with their virgin plastic alternatives. It's a big market. It's a big market, you see it here, but we don't have to create a market. We just use the waste in the market to continue. We only see that it's growing. This is my AI integration. I've used lovable.dev to create a website where you can type in any word and it'll generate what does a coffee ground material look like for your product so that you can buy it. You can also sign up as a coffee shop. We already have a few on board. Order a sample you can pick up at any one of our locations across 4 cities. And you can buy a few items that we already have molds of now. Me, I'm a general contractor, like I said, I'm in the construction industry, but because of that, I can include the wall panels into my projects as soon as our prototype is done. We already know the mold injection is possible. The panels will be next in a bigger market. We can put them in our hostels. I'm building a Culver City micro hotel. We can put in the walls. And I have a revocable permit with the City of LA to build a planter bench, which this material could be used for. So we have 3 projects right away we can implement. My partner, 25 years in mold injection. He's a polymer expert. He is a polymer expert. He has so many certifications. I used to work at Mercedes-Benz. So at 13 Seconds to Spare, I'll let you know this is job creation. This is environmental, sustainable products that any anybody can mold or hot press, and the manufacturers could use as a pellet to continue the formula.
So you're going to be taking this and making non-single-use materials, right? So this is meant to be reusable, not back into the. This isn't recyclable or degradable.
It's reusable.
Okay, it's reusable. It's not degradable.
It's reusable but not degradable.
Right. Sure.
The cellulose completely though.
Yeah.
The walls could be, because they're both a biodegradable product.
Yeah.
The cellulose, but the cellulose acetate could also be
You're trying to take it
biodegradable.
out of it.
Correct. Yeah. And that's where OceanWorks does their part of the job with the blue economy that I don't really need to touch
Yeah,
because they're
right.
perfectly working with that.
You and Adolfo, you are the team, correct?
Correct.
And, but you're also operating a hostels, which I love, but I mean, if you're kind of pitching, you know, sell me that this is your focus. Because I see you doing other things as well, so.
Well, I'm an entrepreneur with experience in building a company from the ground up. I took $15,000 and turned it to $3 million, so I know how to scale. As far as the manufacturing goes, we can already use that product in my existing spaces, so I don't have to wait for someone to buy the product. We can implement it next day as a proof of concept. So I think it's actually a benefit that I have this experience. As far as my other job, as you could say, I have a great, like I employ 10 people and they do the job, so I can be here. I've been looking at my phone all day.
Okay.
So I'd say it's more of like a showroom opportunity than like a distractor in my eyes.
Okay.
How does the product, especially for the building, compare in price to existing?
Plywood?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Chinese birch will run you anywhere from $85, and obviously makeup, maple, and everything will go up to 100, 200 a sheet. We believe that with our coffee, with this product, we can go about $60 for a sheet. And also, this is cheaper too. So when we get our RPP from OceanWorks, it's about 80 cents a pound. We feel that we can get up to like 60, 70 cents. And so it'll be a cheaper, because manufacturers want cheaper, as sustainable product. They don't necessarily want to hear that I'm going to make it more expensive. So we'll go cheaper from coffee grounds and glucose acetone.
So what's your competitive, like what's stopping someone else from coming to the market and create something similar at a lower price point? Like what's your barrier?
Yeah, that's a good question because anybody could grab an EV vehicle, go to local coffee shops, and then get a mold injection machine that we have or a hot press and create it. Yeah, so anybody could do it. I guess they haven't. Only in Germany they have, and so we would just be the first to do it. But could somebody do it? Yeah, it's a big operation. Our machines weighs 16 tons. Our molds are 800 pounds. I mean, it's a full manufacturing. It's not something you can make in your backyard. So you would have to have access to manufacturing facilities.
Do you have patents on it?
We don't have patents on it, but that's hopefully as we go through incubation stage and go through funding, that would be something we would definitely be doing. So this is pretty early on, but I've done enough tests in our facility to know that we do this, and the science in Germany proves that you can do 85-15 on the plywood as well. And the whole thing can be pelletized.
All the time we have for
Sorry.
questions. No worries at all. Thank you, Alvina. Great presentation. For our next contestant, we have Hamilton Perkins. Start him off with a round of applause.
Hi, my name is Hamilton Perkins. I'm founder of Hamilton Perkins Collection. We make award-winning products and materials. My first business was a magazine recycling business. I got shut down for it, but didn't let it stop me. I would go on to make products later made from repurposed materials, plastic water bottles, billboards, and a whole lot more. And that's why I essentially got close to the problem. I learned more about textiles. We were being hit up by a ton of companies that we should take their waste streams, but we really didn't have a way to do that. So we turned to chemistry and biology to make a patent pending process to upcycle textiles back into textiles. So we have a two-step process. We're using chemistry and biology. We have a solvent-based approach. We break down the hard-to-recycle materials, like the samples here. A lot of that comes right out of LA landfills. About 10% of the landfills here are textile-based. We break it down to monomers, and then we re-polymerize it and use an enzymatic upcycling process to create a novel biopolymer. We've turned to AI to further support our solution. We built a smart chat agent that allows us to match textile suppliers and waste providers to buyers on the other end. As in addition to that, we have a printout which will let the client know what the waste is worth and help them turn trash to credit. So what do we make at the end of the day as a pellet? We provide a drop-in component for our clients to use as they go to make yarns, fabrics, and alternative leathers, and then they make the products that they want from that material. We came out of a fellowship called Lab Start. We got a chance to do customer discovery, which gave us an amazing opportunity to talk to about 100 potential customers and their procurement teams. And we asked them, what are you spending on this solution right now? We totaled it up, it came to about $4 billion. And what makes us unique, there's a lot of players in the space, you'll probably know some of the names on here, but we found our wedge. If you're a corporate recycler, there's not going to be as much specificity on the actual material that is coming out of the process. The chemical industry will be essentially the toll manufacturers for us. They'll manufacture the goods, and we're essentially closing the loop for the client. So the client wants to use their waste stream to make new materials. We have 2 revenue channels. We get paid for taking waste from clients, and then we sell it back to them in the form of the pellets on the table here. We're the team to do it because we've already generated about $1.5 million in revenue from about 20 Fortune 500 level clients. We've actually already attracted a pilot partner for our new process where we have a signed supplier agreement. It's a luxury brand in the tier 1 space. And what we've done is we've actually taken a pilot through the California Product Stewardship Council here. We've been able to remove materials directly out of landfills and pilot our process. We're a Los Angeles Clean Tech Incubation Cohort 8 company, and this is the first sample. So far, we've been backed by Pharrell Williams, Hewlett Packard Enterprise Foundation, Techstars, Draper Family Foundation, where we were one of the winners of the UCLA Innovation Prize. Our team has about 75 years of experience across biology, chemistry, innovation. We essentially have been very crafty with our funding. We've been able to get a Department of Energy scholarship to fund our science work. We've been able to create green jobs and use grants. And most recently, we just onboarded engineers through UCLA. Right now, we're focusing on our seed round. We've already got about 1.5 soft circled. We still have some open slots. And basically, we need to set up a mini production line so that we can show our client what our capabilities are for about a $1 to $2 million contract potential order right now. From there, we know once we're in the door, we'll be able to work with them on a much larger scale and scale to offtake agreements. This is the timeline, so we'll unlock the PO, and from there, we'll be able to characterize our materials. We'll ship the sample to the tier 1 customer. We'll essentially be able to co-develop with them at the kilogram scale, and from there be able to unlock an offtake agreement in Series A in 2 years. So in closing, we've already shown that we can turn trash to treasure, traction into returns, but now we're building waste to value. We're doing it here in LA. We're based downtown in the LaCrette Center. We need your help. We hope that you'll join us, and I'll open it up for any questions. Thank you for your time.
Great presentation, thank you so much. So is this going to be a single stream platform? You can take any type of textiles, or are you looking for certain types and then you turn them into the one-to-one recycling is like really tough in the textile market because of that, you know, the viability of the resource. Like how do you turn all of the different waste streams, because we have no textile recycling at scale yet. So how do you take all of that waste and turn it into waste?
Yeah, so right now we have a target material of PVC, polyvinyl chloride. Within the textile space, there's about 40 million tons of it, about a 1% recycle rate. We have very consistent streams of it from not just fashion, but other industries. So that's our feedstock for the process. A lot of our competitors may use an agricultural feedstock. Our target output will be PHA, polyhydroxynone, which would essentially be a biopolymer that would have tunable properties for our end customers to use in their supply chains. And that's our first kind of like anchor. We have been receiving material transfers from companies here in California, here in Los Angeles, and other spaces. So once we get really good at that one, we'll expand to other materials.
So, yeah, so do you need the analysis? Do you need the spectrophotometric analysis of the materials, like do you need to know the textile that you're receiving?
We do, yeah, we need the spectroscopy, we need to get characterization equipment, and essentially that's part of our raise proceeds, because we've been able to, demonstrate just at a small gram scale, okay, we can provide the pre-treatment, but we're working with some of the, potentially like working with the National Lab on CRADA to be able to further develop the technology and get it up to, let's say, 300 liters. But for now, we do need help on characterization, and we need help with ATR equipment, with FTIR, so, anybody, send them our way
Yeah,
if
that
you
could be
need
the
to
data
know.
play. The data play side is larger, like the collection material side. Because there's some startups just working on that side, the spectrum side. So it's really interesting.
That's all the time we have for questions.
Sorry.